With this election cycle coming up, it seems pretty charged up, Kent. And how does one go about managing themselves when stepping into a conversation about the 2020 election?
I totally agree with you that things are pretty amped up and people are pretty reactive and polarized currently, myself included at times. I think a natural systems perspective is one of the ways to help a person keep regulated. And what I mean by that is we have an amygdala in the center of our brain, and it's part of our stress response system to protect us, for self-preservation, for survival, for reproduction. And it's what we use as a species to keep propelling. And in this election, people are really identified with this being about survival and about preservation of their beliefs, or even just our way of living in our country. So in order to not be hijacked by our amygdala, we have to use our thinking system. And our thinking system will help us stay calm. It will help us to listen, to learn, versus listen to reply. And we won't be as reactive if we allow our thinking system to monitor and regulate our emotional system, in which the amygdala is part of. It's really called a top-down approach rather than letting the amygdala, which is more in the center of the brain, be a bottom-up perspective. And the neocortex is kind of left out, but from a top-down, the neocortex then is managing the amygdala.
So if you are engaged in a conversation about the election with somebody, how would you go about actually stating your opinion in a productive way?
Well, I think that takes some work on a person's part to do what I call, and from a Bowen theory perspective, is to take an I position. And I positions are positions that represent one's solid self. And solid self is about, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I stand for. And part of a solid self then is comprised of values and principles that a person has vetted. And they may have been informed initially by the families that we grew up in, or the social systems that we also grew up in. And we have a blueprint eventually of our values and principles that have to be vetted and reflected upon. But if we vet them, then we can decide which ones we want to keep and what other principles or values or beliefs that we may want to add based on objectivity. Knowing what I stand for and where I might stand on issues or situations, so that I can deliver that in a calm, respectful way.
So these people are typically our colleagues, they're our family members. We can't just completely cut off from them. So how do you follow up with them maybe after the conversation when you know you have a difference of opinion?
First and foremost, I think we want to have this sense that we want to stay connected and can understand the value of staying connected. So when we've decided that it's important and valuable to stay connected, particularly in families and in our friendship systems, and even maybe more importantly in our work systems, we want to not get mad. We don't want to run away. We don't want to freeze. And those are all three natural ways that the human responds to challenging situations. And then because we are humans, we have, again, as I mentioned earlier, this neocortex that will allow us to have a thoughtful response. I might know where I stand, and it may be what I stand for, and it may be also what I stand against, and that may be conflictual with somebody. But I'm not intending to be polarized. Hopefully I've been neutral in getting to my I position. My position may not be neutral, but hopefully how I deliver it is neutral and respective.